Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer right here on Pakistan Legal Insight. I am absolutely thrilled to be guiding you through today's topic because we're looking at one of the absolute most powerful tools available to you as a citizen. We're talking about your ultimate shield against the misuse of power, the Constitution of Pakistan. Specifically, we'll be breaking down how the Constitution isn't just some dusty document sitting on a library shelf. It is a living, breathing mechanism, and it's designed to protect your everyday rights. Okay, let's dive into this. What happens when a government department acts beyond its legal authority? Really, think about it for a second. The government holds immense power over our lives, our businesses, and our properties, right? But what happens when the people entrusted with that power step over the line? Can an everyday citizen actually stand up and challenge unlawful administrative actions? Well, the answer is a resounding yes. And today, we're going to unpack exactly how you do that. So here is our roadmap for today's explainer. First, we'll look at when the government crosses the line. Second, we'll explore Article 1999 as your constitutional shield. Third, we'll break down the 5 constitutional writs. Fourth, we'll map out the journey from grievance to the High Court. Fifth, we'll compare a writ versus a civil suit. And finally, we'll touch on human rights in the digital age. Let's get right into it. Section 1. When government crosses the line, the threat of administrative overreach. You know, in the eyes of the law, administrative overreach isn't just a vague feeling of being treated unfairly by the system. It occurs very specifically when public authorities exceed the powers granted to them by law or when they completely ignore mandatory legal procedures. It also includes situations where discretionary powers are used arbitrarily, or, and this is a really big one, when actions are taken with malified. That's just a fancy legal term for bad faith. Essentially, it's when the authorities break their own rules. Let's ground this in reality, because this isn't just abstract legal theory. We're talking about the illegal cancellation of a business license that you literally rely on to feed your family. It's the wrongful suspension of a dedicated, hardworking government employee. It's a department refusing to issue a legally required certificate just to be difficult. Or, far worse, things like illegal detention and the unlawful demolition of someone's property. These discriminatory actions are the exact real-world scenarios where administrative overreach actively harms citizens. Section 2, Article 199, your constitutional shield. So when you face these kinds of abuses of power, where do you actually turn? Well, under Article 199 of the Constitution, you can file what is known as a writ petition. So the crucial point is the word extraordinary. A writ is absolutely not an ordinary appeal. You aren't just asking a higher-up manager to review a lower manager's work. It is an extraordinary constitutional remedy designed to immediately correct an unlawful government action. It is literally the Constitution itself directly intervening to say, stop, you are breaking the law. Naturally, you might be wondering who exactly this shield can be raised against. Well, it is specifically targeted at state actors. You can file a writ against government departments, public authorities, local governments, statutory bodies, and individual public officials who are acting in their official capacity. It's a mechanism designed specifically to keep the immense, heavy apparatus of the state in check. Section 3, the 5 constitutional writs, your arsenal. Now, Article 199 doesn't just hand you one generic weapon. It actually gives you a whole toolkit of 5 specific writs. The first, and perhaps most famous, is Habeas Corpus. This translates from Latin to, you shall have the body. I know, it sounds a bit like the start of a medieval mystery, but it is incredibly serious. This is your fundamental protection against unlawful detention. If a citizen is taken into custody without a valid legal reason, this writ compels the authorities to produce that person in court and justify the detention. And if they can't, the court restores the citizen's personal liberty immediately. It is the ultimate safeguard of human freedom. Let's move to and see how this builds with our second writ, Mandamus. While Habeas Corpus stops the government from doing something illegal, Mandamus forces them to do something legal that they are refusing to do. It compels a public authority to perform a mandatory legal duty. Imagine a government department simply refusing to process a retired employee's pension, or maybe they're sitting on a well-deserved promotion case for years. A writ of Mandamus commands that authority to do its job and actually make a decision. Third up, we have Certiorari. This writ is all about correcting procedural illegality. It's used to literally quash or strike down an illegal decision that has already been made by a government body or a lower tribunal. If an authority made a decision that they had absolutely no legal jurisdiction to make, or if they completely violated the basic principles of natural justice in making it, the High Court uses certiorari to wipe that decision off the books. It's like it never even happened. Next is Prohibition. Now, this one is closely related to certiorari, but with one massive difference: timing. While certiorari quashes a decision after it's been made, prohibition is a preventative measure. It prevents a tribunal or authority from proceeding beyond its lawful jurisdiction before the final damage is actually done. It's basically the High Court stepping in mid-process and saying, halt, you do not have the legal authority to continue with this hearing or this action. Finally, we have Quo Warranto, which translates to by what authority. Think of this as the ultimate constitutional background check. It empowers everyday citizens to challenge the illegal occupation of a public office. So if someone is sitting in a position of public power, but they don't actually fulfill the strict statutory qualifications for that job, maybe they lied about their credentials or totally bypassed the legal appointment process, this writ demands they prove their legal right to hold that office. And if they can't prove it, they are removed. Simple as that. Section 4. From Grievance to High Court. The Battle Plan. Now, before you march into court with any of those writs we just talked about, you need solid grounds. You can't just file a writ because you're annoyed with a new government policy. You need to show a clear violation of fundamental rights, like your right to property or a fair trial. You need to prove a lack or excess of jurisdiction, showing that the government stepped totally out of its lane. Or you need to show bias, modified action, or a clear failure to perform statutory duties. These are the foundations of your case. Once you have your solid grounds, here is the milestone journey you'll take. Step 1. The violation actually occurs. Step 2. You must consult a qualified lawyer. This is constitutional law we're talking about, so you definitely need a professional. Step 3. Your lawyer files the constitutional petition directly in the High Court. Now, Step 4 is absolutely critical. The court issues a notice to the government and can grant what's called interim relief. This means if the government is about to illegally bulldoze your house tomorrow, the court can issue a stay order today to stop the immediate harm while the whole case is being argued. Finally, Step 5 is the final hearing and judgment where the court makes its ultimate ruling. Section 5. Writ versus ordinary civil suit. Choosing the right weapon. A lot of people ask, why don't I just file a normal lawsuit? And this brilliantly illustrates the difference. A writ petition draws its immense power directly from Article 199 of the Constitution, whereas a standard civil suit is based on everyday procedural laws. A writ targets unlawful state action. A civil suit is usually just for private disputes between two individuals or maybe two companies. Because writs deal with urgent, heavy constitutional matters, they are usually much faster than civil suits, which, let's be honest, can sometimes drag on for years. Ultimately, the goal of a writ is to protect fundamental human rights, while a civil suit enforces standard civil rights and contracts. You have to choose the right weapon for the right battle. Section 6. Human Rights in the Digital Age. The New Frontier. So we've covered the traditional mechanics of Article 199, but we all know the world is changing rapidly. As Pakistan moves further toward digital governance and online government services, we are facing unprecedented evolving challenges. For example, we're now seeing the emergence of automated administrative decision-making. What happens if a government algorithm unfairly denies your application? What about the protection of your digital privacy when interacting with state portals? These are not fully settled areas of law yet. They are very much emerging frontiers. Ensuring that AI-driven systems and new technologies respect our constitutional rights is going to be the next great battleground for Article 199. All right, let's bring all of this together. If you take away only one single thing from this explainer, let it be this. Rich jurisdiction is a constitutional safeguard that reinforces accountability, protects fundamental rights, and ensures that government remains subject to the Constitution. It is the ultimate, powerful reminder that in a democracy, the rule of law reigns supreme, and absolutely no authority is above the Constitution. The reality is, the government isn't getting smaller. Bureaucracy and digital governance are only expanding. And as they do, the potential for administrative overreach expands right along with them. The incredible shield of Article 199 is there waiting for you, but it only works if you actually know how to pick it up. If you found this breakdown valuable, please hit that subscribe button for Pakistan Legal Insight. Like this explainer, drop a comment below, and help us continue creating these focused legal explainers for you. I want to leave you with a final thought to really ponder. Knowing what you know now about the immense power of your Constitution, how will you protect your fundamental rights today? Until next time, stay informed.